At 10,890 meters, a robotic claw recovered a thumb-sized animal. A lab scanner found a thread inside it. Not shell, bone, or parasite. No sunlight reaches it. No fish lives that deep. How did the thread arrive? Replay the descent. Watch the depth gauge and what the ocean does to our ROV. At 10 meters, the attack begins. 10 meters. The pressure alarm moves before the seafloor disappears. The water is already pushing with twice the surface pressure. Every additional 10 meters adds roughly another atmosphere. The hull takes the load. The seals hold. An ordinary camera could already fail. And this is the shallow end. At 100 meters, the ROV loses something no machine can restore. The ROV's red warning plate just turned black on camera. The plate did not fail. Red light did. At 100 meters, the water has absorbed almost all of it. Blood would look black here. So would a red animal hiding in plain sight. The ocean is not merely getting darker. It is deleting the world one color at a time. Blue survives longer, but the light needed by plants is about to fail too. At 200 meters, the last useful sunlight slips above the camera. The ROV switches on its own lamps. A faint blue glow remains, but generally not enough to power meaningful photosynthesis. The last plants are now above us. Below this line, almost every mouth survives on food falling from a world it can never visit, or on an energy source we have not reached yet. Then the sonar saturates. Thousands of targets sweep upward around the ROV. Fish, squid, and crustaceans climbing hundreds of meters toward food. This is not one school. It is the largest animal migration on Earth, and it happens every night. 2 animals cut across the lens. The ROV throws its thrusters hard to port and misses them. Before dawn, the entire river of animals turns and dives to escape predators. They pour past the ROV in the opposite direction. We keep descending, into water where even oxygen is disappearing. Something is hovering where active predators should struggle to breathe, a vampire squid. It survives on marine snow, dead plankton, mucus, and waste falling from the bright world above. The manipulator startles it. The squid collides with the arm, turns its webbed arms inside out, and bolts. Blue fluid splashes across the lens. It is not an attack, and it is not ink. It glows. At 1,000 meters, that animal can make more light than the sun can deliver. 1,000 meters, control cuts the headlights. The camera becomes empty. This is not night. Night ends at sunrise. Here, natural sunlight is 0. Pressure is already about 100 times the surface. If the ROV loses power, the expedition does not see darkness. It sees nothing. Bring the lamps back. The darkness answers with flashes of its own. One animal circles the camera, then another. The black water fills with living lights. Mbari found that 76% of the water column animals it observed could produce light. A flash can mean mate, flee, eat, or follow me. One red pulse ahead repeats with impossible precision. The ROV changes course toward it. That is a mistake. The light is bait. Before we reach it, a crimson wall crosses the headlights. A giant phantom jelly. Its bell is wider than a meter. 4 mouth arms can each outgrow a bus. Across thousands of dives, Mbari has seen it only 9 times. One mouth arm drifts across our path. The ROV banks hard and misses it. It vanishes. The smaller red lights still wait below. The red lights are attached to a living fishing line. It is a siphonophore, a colony of specialized bodies behaving as one animal. Some bodies swim, others digest. Below them hang tentacles loaded with thousands of stinging cells. A fish follows one red flash. The tentacles close, reverse thrust. The ROV backs away from the trap. Then the hydrophones detect clicks strong enough to belong to something much larger. A wall crosses the beam, a sperm whale hunting squid 2 kilometers down. Its ribs flex and lungs collapse safely. Clicks mat the darkness. The ROV needs a pressure hull, batteries and cables. The whale needs one breath. The clicks accelerate. The squid turns, the whale strikes, and its tail clips the ROV on the final turn. Impact. A crack spreads across the optical port. The whale dives. We follow it toward water that should be boiling. The temperature warning fires. Black water erupts from the seafloor. The jet can approach 400 degrees Celsius, hotter than melting lead, without boiling. Pressure prevents it becoming gas. The ROV backs away, revealing an entire community beside the vent. There is no sunlight and no plant life. Microbes turn chemicals into energy, feeding tube worms, shrimp, and mussels. This place built a city from the chemistry of the planet. Then the ground beneath the ROV disappears. At 6,000 meters, the ROV tips over the edge of an ocean trench. The floor becomes a shaft. This is the Hadal Zone, named for Hades. Pressure passes 600 atmospheres. Food becomes scarcer. The depth gauge keeps turning. A cross current shoves the damaged ROV sideways. The thrusters fight to hold the descent line. How much farther can the trench go? Far enough to erase the tallest mountain on Earth. Put Mount Everest directly beneath the ROV and lower it to the bottom of Challenger Deep. Its summit never reaches the surface. It remains roughly 2 kilometers underwater. The ROV crosses the height of the summit and keeps descending. Then, a camera head catches a fish living near the biological edge. At 8,336 meters, a lander filmed the deepest fish ever recorded, a snailfish. It is not covered in armor. It is soft and translucent, held together by chemistry that helps its proteins work under crushing pressure. Researchers place the likely fish limit around 8.2 to 8.4 kilometers. Below that, pressure may disrupt molecular systems fish need to live. The lights dim. The snailfish turns away. The cracked ROV continues alone. More than 2.5 kilometers of empty water remain. The trench floor finally rises into the lamps. Challenger Deep, 10,935 meters. Pressure exceeds 1,000 atmospheres, roughly 16,000 pounds on every square inch. The ROV lands and throws up a cloud of sediment. Inside it, tiny amphipods are still moving. The manipulator reaches down. The target struggles. The claw closes. Sample secured. Now we can answer the question from the surface. Back in the laboratory, researchers opened 90 amphipods from 6 Pacific trenches. 65 contained at least one microscopic fiber or particle. Some were synthetic materials associated with human pollution. That was the thread inside the animal. The study could not reconstruct every root, but currents carry particles. Debris sinks, contamination moves through food webs, our material crossed a world that removed color, sunlight, plants, and fish, and it kept going. It reached the deepest animals before our ROV reached them. The ROV needed a pressure hull, thrusters, lights, and cameras to survive the journey. Pollution needed none of them. The deepest part of the ocean was never sealed away. It was only far away. The most disturbing thing at the bottom was not a monster. It was a receipt from the surface. Subscribe to Mind Blown Facts Daily for the next expedition into somewhere humans were never meant to reach.